Hey YouTube, Dawn from Savior Home Solutions, property preservation, home preservation, whatever way you want to say it. Um, just wanted to put out a quick video. I see a lot of people posting on YouTube about their companies and how you can start your own preservation company, and they want to help you and they want to show you what they do. And I just figured every time I see them, I mean, they're all professionals in their industry, of course, but there are some things that they aren't doing correctly. And I just want to do a series of videos, and I can't cover everything today, so I'm going to start out with just a little bit about ourselves and maybe throw a couple little tips in there. We've been doing work in the industry for 6 years now, owning our own business for 2 years. The company that we had worked for had closed, and we were just totally devastated. And it was a complete accident that we found this industry in the first place, and wish that we had known it when we were back in our 20s, because I wouldn't be sitting here doing videos right now if I knew about this then. But anyway, for a year we sat here just worrying about what was gonna, happen, and all our bills, and we had our electric shut off a couple times, and we had a guy that had hired my husband from Craigslist way back 6 years ago. He opened his own company when the company went out of business, and we were like, there's just no way. That's totally unheard of, to be able to just open your own business when it's like, what do? You know nothing about it. You're scared to death. We were scared. So for an entire year, this guy just kept sending us messages telling us how much he just made to do this and how much he just made to do that. And we were just like, yeah, that's nice. Those people are like, you're crazy if you go into business for yourself. But we were just scared. So this is really funny. I saw there was a day that we were going to visit my grandmother in a rehab center, and we were just sitting at the red light, and it was a very long time since we had heard from this guy that got us started and kept bugging us all the time to keep going. And I said, we haven't heard from him in a really long time. And then when the light turned green and we started to go, we got a text. And I said, but, it was him. And he was telling us, hey, you're missing out. Just did this for $1,200. And we're like, what? So we actually decided to look into it. And that was in November, I believe, or December. So we had to wait for our income tax money, because there's just no way we had money to start a business, because it's you need everything. You need an LLC, you need a business license, you need a branding name, and the insurance for, like, when you're not even working yet. You have to buy insurance, because you have to tell these people that you're doing work for that you have insurance before they will contract work to you. You also need your license, if I didn't mention that, and you need it in the state that you're doing work in. And sometimes the people that you work for will give you work in other states that you're not licensed for. But in some situations, the type of work you're doing, you don't need a license. Like, say, they need a grass cut done You won't need a license for that. Anybody can cut grass anywhere, and you don't need a license. But it is always good to cover yourself anyhow if you're going to go out there and just be a lawn cutter, to actually open your own business and get insurance, and so when you run over the neighbor's flowers with your lawnmower, you won't get sued. So anyway, there's lots of things, and I'm just winging it right now because I did have a script that I wanted to say, but I think I do better off just saying what I want to say. So here is the actual photo that I took, and this photo was taken on September 8th of 2001. It was at a wedding at the aquarium in New Jersey, and the sun started going down, and somebody's like, take a picture, because it looks beautiful, and it does. And I had no idea that, when I took that picture, that how many years later I would be using it for my business card. And you'll see later in some of the pictures that I take pictures of the Philadelphia skyline all the time. So I have beautiful pictures of the Philadelphia skyline because we're lucky enough sometimes that we go up on the roof of the Sugar House Casino, and you can see everything and everywhere. So I go nuts when I go up there, take really good pictures, and you'll see a couple really neat pictures, because what I won't do here is show you pictures of the houses that we do work on, because that's not legal. And that's one of the things that everyone out there that wants to get into this business, or they, like, they'll go out and they'll post their first job they ever did, and they'll be like, this is how you do a debris removal, and which is great. Thanks for showing us, but you should do it on your garage or something, because you're not supposed to put up pictures of the properties for who you're working for. They contract you to work. There's a confidentiality agreement. It sounds pretty funny because you think that, top secret FBI stuff, but it's, there is a confidentiality agreement between you and the company who contracts you to work, whether it's a grass cut or a debris removal or changing the locks or doing the roof. You are not allowed to show these photos online anywhere. So, just saying. It is fun out there when you ride around. I think you'll get to see in one of the pictures that you get to see some really strange things. And, alright, so this, something I forgot to say, this picture was taken 2 days before the most horrific thing that ever happened to the United States of America, which the anniversary just passed. Very sad day. But life moves on, and everything happens for a reason. Haven't figured out what that reason is yet, but it's sad. Okay, so here is me and my husband. My husband is Howard. And of course, I told you before, I am Dawn. And we went into this business to basically change our lives and maybe be able to save some money for putting our child in college that is about to go. And we've been in here 2 years, and I'll tell you, we haven't saved anything for it, because it is a good business, but it's kind of hard to say what I want to say, but We love doing it, and we love coming home and putting the invoices in, or actually most of the time we're here all the time just putting invoices in, put pictures in and work orders in, and just always working. So, but we can get to that later. So, just so you know, okay, um, this is Howard and me, and we were married on July 21st in 1996 and had our first child in 1999 on April Fool's Day. And our second child came December 26th in the year 2000, which actually was the first day of Hanukkah, the first night of Hanukkah that year. So that was pretty neat. We have holiday babies. I believe, like I said, I believe everything happens for a reason. I believe in karma. I'm very spiritual, very good. And sometimes that hurts because owning a company, you have to harden yourself and harden your heart. And a lot of times when you start out, you have friends and family helping you. And it's, I don't really want to talk about any situations that happen because, it's also confident. But just to say, if someone makes a mistake and, it happens, and you tell them about it, okay, because they're your best friend, that mistake don't matter. And it's like, and you need to just shut up. And that's what happens. So, or they're your mom or your dad or your sister or your cousin or just anybody who's doing a job for you. If they don't do it right, it's impossible to get it through to them that they have to do this right. Because I'll tell you what, if you send somebody else to do a job and they forget something, they could do the greatest job in the world, but they forget one picture and you don't get paid for that job. And same goes for you. If you're out there doing the work and you forget a picture, then you're going to have to go back to your own cost, more gas, more wear and tear on your car, go back and get that picture. And sometimes it costs more than the job that you just did. Okay, because in property preservation, when you work for some companies, you have to do little nickel and dime things to get to the good stuff, the stuff that pays you good. But then some stuff that pays you good requires a lot of money to do them. And where are you getting that money? I can tell you I'm very proud that I have not actually used any credit in our business. We have no credit cards. Okay, we do have an investor that helps, which is actually, a family member that helps out, and we give them a little bit of money back on their return. So we were lucky enough for that, but I didn't get that for over a year of being in this business. I had to, we had to come up with this money all the time until, people started to see that we were serious and that we're working, and, we built it up. And we built it up from just my husband going out on his own to my husband going out with another person, then put in 3 or 4 people in the car just to get like 25 grass cuts done in one day. Okay, so 2 hours later, I'm back. Here's a street sign that one of our people took for us, so it's pretty interesting, and it says hammer time. So that's pretty interesting. There's things that you can find out there. There's some more really funny pictures too that you'll see through time when I'm doing this. And I don't remember where I left off, but I'm sure, I was talking about how time consuming this business is, especially if you're out there doing the work on your own and you have to come home and sit there and put every order in. So, like, say you got like 5 orders a day or 4 orders a day, or depending on what they are, they're time consuming. If it's a grass cut, you do it yourself, you can zip, you're done. You just need a street sign and address verification, like just taking the address close up, the house far away. There's a few different things that, that's required of you before you even start your job. And then everything is before, during, and after photos. And usually there's a certain required photos, like for a grass cut, let's say 35 photos before you'll even get paid. If you give them 34 photos, you will not get paid for your job. So you have to really make sure that you do it right the first time, or else you're going back, and um, that gets very costly. So doesn't happen to us very often anymore, but there's always a slip up, and it does get you very upset. So if you are an owner and you're sitting here putting orders in all day long, all night long, paying people to do your work for you, and they don't come back with one required picture, you're just like, really, I mean, that's your job. Your job is to remember the street sign and the address verification and before, during, after photos, and always make sure that when you're taking the pictures that at least there's a piece of the house in the background, and like if you're taking grass cuts, and so because you can take that picture anywhere. I could be on the side of this road and take all my grass cut pictures and say this is where I am. But nowadays they have check-ins now on your phone, so that's another thing. You're going to need a smartphone. You're going to need data. You have to make sure, so when you go there, you log into their website, look up the order. You have to check into that order so they know that you were there when you were there. So now they're doing time stamping every photo, and not just time stamping now. They're um, date stamping and time stamping. Like they want to know every minute that you're taking a picture. So it has to say like 9/15/2016 at 4:03 p.m. or such and such. Every picture you take has to have your time on it. The cameras out there, not everyone is suitable for that. So like when that happened, every camera had to be reformatted. Okay, not to mention how many times one of your people bring back your camera and say, "Look, what happened to it?" I don't know what happened to it. It just don't work anymore. I didn't do nothing to it, you know. But they throw them off roofs, So um, it is challenging, and I'll tell you, I sit here a lot of nights, real quiet, putting orders in, and all of a sudden my husband will yell so loud because there's a picture missing. And it's like the end of his world because the companies don't care. They don't care. They want their work done. People make too many excuses. Like, I couldn't get there today because of that. There's no excuses. And there's been maybe 1, 2 times that we've had to ask to move an order, because you just have to go in there with the no excuses attitude, and everything that they need and they want, you need to find a way to do it unless it's just beyond, totally beyond something that you can't do. And then you need to call them and tell them, and they'll either, reassign it or work something out with you. But it's very rare that we've ever had to turn down an order, um, or tell them we can't get it done. So I'm not sure where this picture came from. I think it might have been taken by one of our people, but it could be a Facebook picture. But this is obviously something when you work in the city of Philadelphia that you get to see. And then always, almost like every other red light, um, you know, there's somebody begging for food and or money, whatever. Sometimes you help them, sometimes you can't, but you got to be very careful because you really don't know who you're giving money to. You could reach out to give your money to somebody and they could grab you and rob you for everything you got because you thought you were just helping somebody, and it turns out bad. So, you have to ride past these people sometimes, makes you feel bad, but your life and your business is what matters at that time. Now, this isn't one of our pictures, but I'll tell you what. If you can put this much trash on your car, then you're hired. Because that's dedication right there. We have people that don't even want to put trash in their cars. And look at this picture. I mean, when you got to get a job done, like I said, no excuses. You get it done. You just do it. And doesn't care if you have to strap the trash all the way up on your car like that, whatever. Um, you're going to find people to say to you, I ain't putting that stuff in my car. That smells, you know. But if you want to do the job and you want to get paid, then you got to do it. I mean, there are some things that are unreasonable, I can understand, but as long as you put something in a contractor bag and you close it up tight, then nothing's going to come out of that. Nothing's going to hurt you. Nothing's going to hurt your car. I mean, if you want to do this business, sometimes you just got to do things. I mean, we had somebody driving around in one of our trucks with concrete, busted up concrete in the back of the truck, and we, assuring us that they got rid of it. And, over $1,000, way over $1,000 in damage later, that concrete is still in the back of our truck. So, you know, there's lots of things that people are going to do to you out there. You got to keep an eye on it. You got to watch it. You got to make sure that people aren't, like say, with the grass cuts, you have to remove the clippings and take them with you. And people don't know where to put that stuff. They don't know where to trash it at. And, and they don't look up, there's facilities that actually take this stuff for free. There's stuff that'll take it for money that you have to pay. But people will just leave stuff at the properties. And they do their little trick photography to make sure that, you didn't see it. But, that's the bad part about, not doing this business for yourself and trusting it to others. But we don't usually have that problem at all. But we have seen some real dirty work out there from what, taking over a property, going from one company to another. The company will reassign it to you, and you'll go there and you'll be like, really? Just unimaginable stuff out there in property preservation. Just, high, it's high reward, and, and people want to do less work, less time for more money. So they're just like, yeah, wing it, We are not like that. We are, we built ourselves up just from our reputation of doing things right, no matter what it costs us, even if we have to put some money out and we don't get paid. We make sure our jobs are done right. And, sometimes you take a hit, and other people have that attitude like, oh, I ain't doing that, man. I ain't doing that. It's going to cost me this much, and they're only paying me this much. And then you just mess it all up for yourself because they don't respect you anymore. And, when you could have got that $5,000 bid, that comes in later. And because you refuse to help them with something that you would have to put a couple dollars out for, then you're not going to get that $5,000 bid. And that's where the money is, And it happens, realtors, they're a little different. Things, they pay a little more sometimes than the PPO side of it, because like PPO, they're like the middleman, and you're the one on the bottom totem pole. And then there's people under you, like, so it like goes from the top person to the person that's contracting you, and then it's you, and then you got to pay people to do your work. So the pay gets lower, lower, lower as you go down. So realtors, they might pay a little more, and it'll work out. It usually works itself out. But always, always try to do your best to get something done, no matter what you have to do to get it done. And this is an excellent example of that. Weather is another thing. Sometimes you have to travel out in a snowstorm. This was a freak snowstorm on April 9th. of this year, 2016. The snowflakes were so big they looked like feathers in a pillow. I've never seen anything like that in my entire life. And we had to run out to do an estimate. That's where you go to a house and take photos of whatever it is that's wrong. If there's a plumbing problem, or they just want to rehab the whole house, or the carpet is all messed up and they want you to rip it up, so you're going to go there and take pictures of, basically you just take pictures of the whole house, but make sure you have plenty of pictures of the carpet, because some of these businesses, if you go there for the carpet and you take a picture of the carpet, you'll turn around and they'll be like, well, the door was messed up. Why didn't you fix that? Or there was a broken window and you didn't fix that. So it's always good to have yourself covered, to have these photos. Um, Also, what was funny on this day, we went to set out for this estimate. This was probably only one of the jobs that we turned in late in our life. And that was just this past April, like in this time we've been in business. Um, we set out to go do this estimate, and the snow was so bad and the roads were so bad that we turned around. We were like, no way. Well, here, like, if we would just kept going up this road, a couple red lights later, there was no snow at all. And it turned out that where we lived was where the freakiest snowstorm came through, and nobody else really saw anything at all. And people were amazed by my videos and my photos of our town being snow covered on April 9th. So, and they got like little tiny snowflakes, but nothing like this. So, but then there's no jobs. Like last year, we didn't get many snow jobs. And we were thankful for that at first, because we were just getting used to having four crews going out and shoveling snow in all these houses, and we only had to do it one time, thank goodness. And by the time we got to some of it, it was already melted and made things a lot easier for us. But this year, from what I'm hearing, is supposed to be a big snow season, and it's lucrative for money, but scary, because I'll tell you, you go out there, you might make like, you know, uh, let's say you got four people doing like 40, 50 snow shovels at like $30. I don't even remember how much they are, but they ain't no more than that probably. It could be lower, it could just be a little higher, but just say 50 snow cuts a day, $30. Okay? So you're like, wow, yeah, that's a great day. But then all of a sudden, smash, and there goes your great day. Um, so, I mean, you're always replacing equipment, always replacing stuff on your car. Um, just, it's just a very, you know, uh, I don't even know what to say, but believe me, you're going to spend money. You're going to spend money in this business. And you're going to think you're rich also. And you're going to spend money that you don't have. Um, Money that you owe other people. Money you're going to need for services later. And then you're going to be like, wow, I shouldn't have went on that big vacation somewhere. Which I have not done because I am scared to death, like I said, to spend any money. So, all right, let's go on to the next thing. Well, like I said, now part of our business is landscaping, and like you go there, we don't really fix up flowers and stuff, but we do cut the grass, and you have to watch out for the gardens, and some people don't, but um, we do shrub trimming, bush trimming, tree trimming, poison ivy trimming, which you will see, like actually removal of poison ivy, and you'll see later what happens when you do that sometimes. So, well, anyway, this is a red, what is this? An oak leaf hydrangea. My grandmother bought me. My grandmother has since passed away, and this is what it looked like as it was growing, and it got beautiful, really beautiful. And here's of it growing and growing. And then it got run over by a lawnmower. My husband ran it over with the lawnmower. See, that stuff happens, even at your own house. Well, I was so devastated. I cried and cried, and we just stuck it back in the ground. Just stuck pieces of it back in the ground. That's what it looks like now. So it did grow back, and it looks better than it did. So, it grew back. Now, if you have to ever plant flowers anywhere, and it's a very sunny place, I recommend these. They don't hardly ever need water, like never, and they just keep sprouting and sprouting and growing, and they're called portulacas. They spread, they grow, they love they love burning hot sun, and they'll sit there and grow and grow and grow. So if you ever need to, that's a good idea. And these are close-ups of the portulacas. Another interesting thing you get to see out there is like rainbows and uh, cool thunderstorm clouds, and I saw some shelf clouds. Never seen shelf clouds, and if I did, I never remembered them. But they were so awesome to see. Um, let's see, next picture. There's the rainbow. This is actually taken outside my home, um, and ever since I got into this business, I've been fixing up my home. The outside, I've actually been doing my own landscaping. And when I first moved here, and I took that I don't even know what it's called, and I do this, but it's that thing that you push in the ground and rip up all your grass. So I'm on my hands and knees pulling up grass and putting down the tarps, the things for to put the mulch down to make sure the grass don't go through. And I've been doing really good. We got a nice greenhouse. I planted gardens, and I never did stuff like that before until I got into this business. And when you think about it, you're going and trying to make these other people's houses look nice that, you know, people don't even live there anymore. And you're maintaining them houses and not your own. But and a lot of time that's because you don't got time to. You're just really busy. So I took advantage between the seasons going to grass cutting. We dropped the company, one of our um, companies, one of our partners that came in and got us into a company with him. We became partners there. He decided to leave, so we did. So that's it with that. Let's see what else. Yeah, this is the shelf cloud. This was the day of the shelf cloud. And we were out, and I was driving my husband crazy to stop. I had to stop. I went in to stop. Just take pictures of these shelf clouds. They were awesome. And that's them there too. And the funny part about it, off to the left, you got to see a lot more. More shelf clouds. And there's my Philadelphia landscape that I like to take. The Philadelphia skyline. I love taking pictures of it. It always looks different. See what I mean? You get good thunderstorm clouds and stuff. You get to see some really cool clouds while you're out. Another good picture. The bad part is in this business, in the summertime, you could work till like 9, 10 o'clock at night. And you can start at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning when the sun comes up, and it don't go down until almost 10 o'clock at night. Like you can't take really dark pictures outside. They don't accept that. But you can take some pictures inside if you have a really good camera, and even if there's no power, it's good. But some people are scared. Like we just had an instance where somebody was by himself at a house, and so they were together, and one person said, "All right, let me go to the store and get the stuff that we need," and And he came back, and the guy was up at the end of the driveway, and he said, what are you done already? And he said, no. And he said, well, what happened? So anyway, sorry I got interrupted. So he was up at the end of the driveway, and he said to him, are you, you done already? And he was like, nah, man. He's like, when I was drilling a hole, he said, something touched me on the back of my shoulder, and I saw something out of the corner of my eye, and I just ran. So, I mean, it is pretty spooky when you're at these houses. This house actually has a pentagram in the middle of the basement floor and 666 written on the wall. So people go there and party, and they do stuff in the basements, and I mean, almost every house somebody breaks into it for something, whether it's stealing the pipes or just a place to live, and you find all kinds of people, all kinds of situations when you go to a house. And if you don't know how to handle something like that, or if you would be comfortable in a situation where you walked in and people were there, you might want to rethink this business, because you see a lot out there. I mean, a lot. Okay, how about like walking into a house and with something unimaginable spread all over the walls and the floors and the ceilings, and really, like, why though? You just want to know, why would somebody do something like that? But I mean, you see the things that people leave. They just get up and they leave their stuff. They leave everything, their whole life. Just walk out of a house and leave their entire lives there. And then sometimes they just leave nothing but trash and their poop. Animal poop, their poop, doesn't matter. And believe me, if you're faint at heart, don't go in this business. Ben Franklin Bridge, the nice picture from the Sugar House roof. It's like when we go out for work, we sneak there after we're done. Drive around playing Pokemon. Oh, phone's ringing. Okay, so I'm back. This is like, I think, a day later. So anyway, this is Howard, my husband, and this is him before he went to do a house that somebody else had done and never finished the job correctly with poison ivy, and he went back there to get it done, because like I said, we don't have no excuses. We get the job done right. So he went there to fix the bad job that somebody had done, because even though they had Tyvek suits and all kinds of stuff, and we paid for everything for them, it wasn't enough. So he went back, and this is what happened to him. So you will see if you do stuff like this, that this will happen to you too. So make sure that you try and have everything covered as much as you can, so nothing like this happens to you. So, all right, well, I will come back another day with some more fun photos and some more tips on being a property preservation or home preservation specialist, vendor, technician, whatever you want to call it. But just remember, in this industry, there's no excuses, none at all. So, and I'll be back with more tips later. See you later, YouTube. Thanks for listening.